do this all day,
All
right?
day, yes.
Having you with us this year, the Girls Your Life Tour, you know, for 2 years I've been traveling the country. And so I wanted to go out and meet women where they were. Day-to-day life challenges is bigger than just having a sit down and just talking to a girlfriend about it. I really believe women need support around day-to-day life challenges.
Oh, absolutely.
So I went out and I said, I want to help her in that place.
Okay.
I want to help her in her total life. Because we got one or two things. You want to be an entrepreneur? Let's show you how to make money. Or you want to lose weight? Let's show you how to get 5 pounds off. But the conversation is total life. And so I said, I need to do that work. Professional development is about your personal development.
Oh, absolutely.
Right. And that's what I love about you. You represent the total life of a woman. You know, every time I think about there is a celebrity guest I want to have a sit down with, you come at the top of mine. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for just being you.
Your energy is so wonderful that it makes it so easy. I think we could talk forever and ever and ever. We could go to a restaurant and have to close it down. You know, flash the lights and say you gotta go.
Gotta go. That's how I feel about you. That's how I feel about your team and the work you do. I love. And of course you take care of my daughter too, by the way. And my granddaughter reminded me of something. You delivered her. And she said she's gonna tell me to send you a picture of her birth so you can remember. And I forgot to do that today.
So you can still send it.
Yes.
And we will still share it. Now, she has to be young because, you know, I'm real young.
Yes, she 10.
But
she
I mean,
remembered.
you said something that is so profound, especially in the time that we're in right now, is most people forget about the mind, body, and spirit, the total body and the total woman. And we are just that. We have a mind, we have a spirit, and we have a body. And it's oftentimes very hard to create a balance.
Right.
Because you're right, you're busy trying to become an entrepreneur and you forget your health.
Yes.
Or you're in this place where you feel like you're losing all your wits and then you're not making money. So you're right, it's trying to find that balance of becoming a total woman.
Yes. And that's the conversation's been missing.
Yeah.
And this year I thought this was the perfect year, but I didn't know. Of course, coming into this year, we were going to have it the way we're having to have it, virtually, digitally, but it's okay. We turned this moment into, I truly believe, a winning moment.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know how to do anything else but win.
Absolutely.
And I don't know how to hang out with other women that don't win. And I didn't want a conversation for the women who come in the Girls Your Life Tour to hear anything but authenticity and real life winning in a woman and what that takes. So the pandemic, right?
Yes.
Dr. J, how's that affected you as a woman? Day-to-day life challenges in every area, wellness, money, relationships, because I could tell you my own story, but we came to talk with you.
Yes.
And what would you say to her? Like, what are we saying to her, Girls Your Life, this year about her life, total in this moment?
Initially, when I started hearing about COVID-19, I kept saying, it's going to be like the flu. You know, it's seasonal. It'll come, it'll go, and we'll be over it. But the more I started seeing the effects, and we were actually in New York promoting the Queen V, which we'll talk about more, but we were in New York on set, and things were starting to close down. Like they stopped having guests, and it was just closing right before our eyes. And I'm like, this may be a little more serious than I wanted to give it credit. However, moving forward, I realized we were truly in a pandemic. We started getting instructions from higher ups as to how we were going to do the office. We got a phone call one day saying all of the offices are closed except OBGYNs. You know, there were a few people who couldn't close because the pregnancy was still going to
Correct.
happen.
I was wondering about that. And then,
Yes.
yeah.
And so I would leave out the next day and there was nobody on the street. And then I started to have, you said we're being authentic.
Yes, we are.
I started to have some fear around, oh my God, I'm going out and I don't know what I'm coming back with. So I would go to work, and it is always my mission to walk in this door as the captain of the ship and pour into other women.
Absolutely.
I didn't come for them to make me feel better. I didn't share my fears, but I just kept saying, we're going to get through this. We're going to protect you. And at one point they told us pregnant women are fine. It's not going to bother them. And then the next day, yeah, pregnant women are more at risk. So it was a bouncing ball for us. But I certainly had some fears that I would contract COVID and die. You know, the thought was like, oh my God, okay.
That's
then
deep,
we
Dr.
got
J.
the statistics from higher up. 60% of physicians will be affected by COVID-19, and we may lose 2%. You start rationalizing through that, like, okay. Then I got my head in the right place. I said, well, I tell you what, I'm the 40% and the 98%.
Yes.
So whoever the 60% is, we're going to pray for them.
Yes.
And whoever the 2% is, I hope they know the Lord.
Amen.
But that's not me.
Amen.
And the thing I use through breast cancer is I will live and not die. So I can tell what God. Every time that thought of dying came to my head, I said, I will live and not die. And so I started to use it for the pandemic. Like, okay, we got to take care of the pregnant women. We have to make them okay. And again, total woman, mind, body, and spirit.
Yes.
She's pregnant. So I would pour into the mind like, you're going to be fine. If this happens, you call us. You come immediately to the hospital. I want you to find some positive affirmations. You write them down and you recite them every day. You tell them this baby is redeemed from destruction. Just every day, use your words to create, because that's what God did with the earth.
Absolutely.
He used his words to create. So I went through that first phase of the pandemic, and we were watching the folks in New York.
We were glued to them. Like, what is... They were kind of the matriarch, if we would say, of what was actually prototype. Yeah, good word.
Being in a pandemic looked like.
Yeah.
And so we used that, but I would just every day pour into the women. Then we had patients not understanding. I can't bring my husband, you know, and then at the hospital, I can't, you know, we brought the one person only.
Yeah.
But if that person came, let's say you were in labor and your cousin brought you to the hospital, that's the only person.
One person.
So your husband couldn't. So it was a lot of stuff happening. But I knew I had to build myself up for this time. And like you, we didn't know we were going to be in this time.
No, we did not.
I started off the year trying to figure out how to promote the Queen Bee.
Right. Because that's where we're going in the next part of our talk today. What was next?
Yeah, we were tossed into a pandemic. We started to see people die. It was a lot of stuff to process. And all the time, you and I are still in a position, which I think is God-given, to make other people feel better.
We sure are.
To be better, to do better.
We sure are.
Yes, and I would say to people, I don't care who you are, what you are, where you are, you got to remind yourself where you want to be and what you know.
Right, that's correct.
You got to talk yourself into a good place.
We got to talk ourselves from not where we are, but where we want to be. And that's what you think, to be not as though they were.
And
Yes.
so use your words. And that's what I did. That's how I got through that first phase of not knowing where we were and what was going to happen. And going into the hospital, girl, I have matured. I don't say age. And so I would get a hot flash, Lord.
Yes.
We had on a mask and a head covering and shields, and I would get a hot flash.
Yes.
Ooh, I started thinking, let me think about the refrigerator. Anything I could do to cool myself off to get through that. But we couldn't stop being who we needed to be for other people. And so I just kept doing what I needed to do to get through it. And I don't think the pandemic went away. I think we learned how to maneuver through what was happening.
Yeah, we're navigating better. So you know why this is such a powerful part of what we're talking about at Girls Your Life? Because the woman that's looking at us right now, right, sitting with us across the country and Canada, by the way.
Hey, Canada.
She's saying, that's Dr. Jackie. She got it. She knows it. She's been there. She's weathered storms. Oh, I heard she fought back and won breast cancer.
Twice.
That's right. I've heard I know she has the resources. That's Dr. Jackie. I want to go there for a moment because I believe that we as women collectively dismiss our own power and courage and bravery, and we take it in a minute way that you have more to work with than she do. I want her to hear clearly you thought of death. There was a moment. You had to deal with the day-to-day challenges. and you faced death because you were on the front line. You were those front lines that we were hearing about every single day. I thought about you because my daughter had to come visit you during this period. And I watched you take care of her in a way that didn't feel pandemic to me. It blessed me because I was nervous for all of you.
Right.
And yet I watch you navigate. So that comes from someplace deeper.
So
How deep she got to go?
Let's start with the fact that I want the women to hear social media can fool you. Because what
Can't
they
it?
see about Dr. Jackie is what I allow you to see.
Uh-huh.
What you don't see about Dr. Jackie is when she wakes up in the morning with her head scarf on, or she's been up all night and she doesn't have this cute little makeup on
Right.
over the dark circles. And you didn't see that I was living in a pandemic where we stopped taking paychecks so that we could keep employees.
Ah.
In the midst of renovating the house, I was out in the middle of the ocean.
Yeah.
And I couldn't turn back.
Yeah, I saw your house being renovated.
Yes.
Great work.
So, and we weren't filming Married to Medicine, so there was no extra check coming
Right.
into the house.
She needed to hear that.
Right.
There's
So
no
now-
extra check coming in the house.
And I was good for the first 2 months. Laura was like,
Yeah.
oh, this okay.
I felt okay too the first 2 months. That third or fourth one, I think.
Girl, I started going, okay. Ooh. And every time I would have to write another check to the contractor. Now, I had prepared for most of it.
Right.
But I had prepared with those things in place that I got paid at work. And I got paid filming. And I was speaking engagements, but none of that was happening.
That's right. It went to a halt.
So there were some sleepless nights that you didn't see. But I, again, used what we talked about at the top of this. I used my words.
The words you formed.
And I used my thoughts. I would say, God will create this. But I got comfortable with not having certain things too, Lord.
So did I.
I didn't need to shop.
No, we didn't have need to shop.
At all. I mean, when I say no shopping, I did not look at stuff.
Right. Okay.
I erased the temptation of shopping.
I did shop a little bit, Dr. Jack. I
if
saw
I
it.
did,
I felt bad at first. Then I just decided it was too cheap to the store I go to. They didn't never give a sale. So I thought I'll take advantage of their 30%.
Yeah, I cut it all off because I was in the middle of a renovation.
You right. You what? Yeah. And that probably was me in my moment.
Yes.
Right.
And
Because I didn't need it
want
either.
women to know that there were times during this period where I went, "Ooh, okay."